Hello, everybody, and welcome to What is the Definition of Love? I am here with my friend Francesca today. Hello, how are
Hi,
you?
I'm good.
I'm glad you came today. Um, so, I wanted to start the show by saying that, I'm glad that you came here.
Thank you.
Today is going to be a great show, so I hope that at least if you guys can't relate, but educate yourself about certain things that this lady is going to be talking about. I am going to continue with the show as usual, but there is going to be times where we will have to discuss other things that are about Francesca. So, Francesca, if you don't mind,
Yes.
how old are you?
Sure.
And where are you? Where are you born? Are you born in the States or?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm 40 years old.
Yay! Welcome to the 40s.
And I was born in Dominican Republic.
Really?
Yeah, I'm Dominican.
Are you serious?
I mean, I'm an American citizen now.
Of course, not like
but-
me. I'm not.
But I mean, I was a resident for like a long time.
I've been a resident. I like it.
So probably like 28 or 29.
Okay.
Yeah. And
So
then
you
I became a
decided
citizen.
that you're going to vote for Trump.
Negative.
I knew she was gonna say never. So my show is about love. So, have you? I mean, I'm sure you remember, but do you remember when you first fell in love and how old you were, or lust, whatever?
Probably like 14 or 15. What? Yeah. But like it was like love, like quote unquote love. Like, you get the little butterflies in your belly.
Okay,
like,
so that's like a kind of lusty
yeah, like love.
crush, whatever.
Right, exactly.
Okay. So, do you think physical attributes are more important to maintaining a successful relationship, or do you think friendship maintains a relationship?
I think that love is like friendship set on fire, basically. Like the physical attributes are not really important. I mean, yes, you have to be physically attracted to someone that you have to have that. You have to have that connection.
A little,
obviously.
a little
and like
kind of
oh wow,
fling.
that's my man.
Yeah.
Like oh okay,
Yeah.
something turns you on about him.
I mean,
of
I
course,
hope, because if you don't have something to keep you going,
right, but like it's not like the most important thing. Like you have to you can't just.
like I tell my friends, stop thinking about the body, because the body is eventually go south or north or
Yeah.
whatever. But if you focus on the eyes or the lips or the hands or the something that
Right.
stays. So my friend said to me, well, the feet, they get bunions. I said, what the fuck? I didn't even know what it was. So I had to go on the computer to look at
You're like,
them.
what's bunions?
I'm like, those are called bones. She's like, no, those are called bunions, Michelle. I was like, okay, so
Yeah.
nah, that's fine, all right.
But yeah, that's not really that's not. I mean, everyone's gonna age. Everyone's gonna,
Yes.
we get older, but like who you are as a person, your soul stays the same. So
Exactly.
like,
And-
it's not really the most important thing.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
When you look at your man, because she has a boyfriend, she has a man or a husband and a fiance, or all of them
Fiancé,
together.
right? All of that mixed together.
So when you look at your man, what was the first thing you've noticed when you met him?
His hands.
She's a hands person like me.
But that was because he was drawing.
He's an artist.
Yeah, and I met him. Well, our story is a little different, but like I saw him on the train, and I didn't talk to him. I used to see him on the train for like at least like a good 4 or 5 years, and we never said anything to each other.
What the hell?
Nothing.
Why?
And I would see him all the time. I mean, I thought he was married, and I saw him when I first
Poor
saw
guy.
him, and I was like, it was just like an instant connection. And in my head, I said, oh my God, that's the type of guy I need to be with, right? But I didn't say anything, and then I would see him all the time, and he was always like he had a little notepad and a pencil, and he was always like, he would not really look
Will
up.
he draw you? Did he ever draw you? Did you ever find out he drew
I asked him if he did, and he said it was like inspiration. I was like an inspiration to one of his train drawings, his train sketches.
So you were on his train sketches.
Yeah.
That's just cool.
Yeah.
Does he still have it?
I think he has it, but it's not me. But it's like the hair or like something like
That inspired him to do
like
that.
draw that character. Yeah. So his hands were the first thing I noticed.
If you had to give advice to this young generation about love, what would you tell them?
Um, I would say love is different for everybody. You know what I mean? Like love looks different to me, it looks different to you.
Yeah.
For me, love just simply is. It just is, the most important thing I think about a relationship and love, you have to be yourself. You have to be able to be free, to be able to do what you want. You know what I mean?
And so you don't even change, because sometimes
Right.
when you're I feel like when you're not yourself, then you change in
Right.
time.
And then you start resenting that person because you're trying to be
Be
someone that
somebody.
you're not, and then it's like please somebody
It makes so much
that
sense. I like that.
that you're
It's
not,
true.
and then it's like to go back to that person that you were before, it takes so much longer. So it's you don't want to lose that.
I don't think you can ever go to somebody that you are not. You could, I mean,
Right,
you
you
could
grow.
act, but that acting, charades are over in time. You get so tired of it.
Right.
It's like, how many times I'm gonna be like her
Right.
when I'm supposed to be me? It's like
Right.
it's
It does get tiring, and it's
Yeah.
draining. Like
A lot.
it's draining, and it's
I've been
yeah,
there.
it's not. Yeah, it's not something that. It's almost toxic in a way, you know.
Do you think we can fall in love multiple times?
I think so. I think that you love people and you love certain qualities about that person. When you're in love with them, it's like because I don't know if it's like you could love them and you could fall in love with them. I feel like both to me are the same thing. If you love someone, you love someone. It's not like you're in love. I don't see it like that. I see it like when you have love for someone, you have love for someone. And
Yeah, I just think that falling in love means that to me is a little different. For me,
Okay.
it's like you love somebody, but then falling in love is meaning you love him, but you're loving everything about him. Like his flaws are perfect to you, his greatness is awesome to you. I mean, that's what I think it means. Falling in love, it means like it's unmeasurable.
yeah,
Like
I think you could fall in love more than one time.
more than one. I think so too.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've never. This was my first time in 45 years that almost 45 years that I fell in love. I never was in love with not even with.
Really? I mean, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like
I
if
mean,
I had to say how
I
many
had
people
relationships.
I've been in love with,
No.
it wouldn't like. It's not like 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, I feel like love is love. So I don't really see it as being in love. Or I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But like I said, everyone has their own definition
Exactly,
of love.
but
so,
that's like what I say to people. Like, I can't tell you whether you were in love 10 times or 20. I
Right.
can only tell you I'm the only person that I always have a question mark on was with a young. I mean, he's old now, but I was 13 and he was 26 years old.
Oh, wow.
And my father was going to kill his ass and told him.
And you were in love with him?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
That's what I think. I kind of thought that was what you're supposed to feel.
Right.
And I never felt it again until I met him. Like, I don't know. It's like, it's weird. Like, somebody was laughing at me. He came to the job the other day. And I was talking to her. And then when I saw him, I'm like, hey, babe. Like, she was like, yo, like, why? I was like, I don't know. I just, She's like, but like your face, you glow. I was like, well, was that bad? So my friend told me, she goes like, it's like you're still with him just now. Like you just met him. I was like, I guess, whatever.
That's good, though. I mean,
Yeah, but people don't understand.
yeah, and people are going to get envious of that, too. Like, when you have that real love, like, people tend to want to have that as well. I mean, with my fiance now, I feel like, I don't want to cry, but I feel like he and I are perfect for each other, where we complement each other.
You complete you
Yeah,
guys are
we lift
complete
each other
now.
up. You know,
That's
he
awesome.
has his flaws, I have my flaws,
Of course.
but we know how to respect each other. We know how to, for the most part, communicate with each other.
Yeah, of
Not
course.
on my part.
Oh
You know
no,
what I
I'm
mean?
bad too. I suck at that.
I'm a
Like,
very
oh
good
my
communicator.
god.
It's more he has to work on the communication, but but we do know how to have arguments in a healthy way. You know what I mean? Like just have discussions. Like people, we're
Yeah,
gonna
I try and
argue.
argue and he walks out. So
Okay. Sometimes you have to walk out though. Sometimes you gotta like
like,
cool out and then come
yes.
back and then okay, now I'm ready to talk.
And then I'm
Sometimes
like, I don't even know what the argument was
what's
about.
about,
Like
right?
at times, if it happens, I'm like, okay, so what were we talking about? He's like, never mind, don't worry about it. So
Yeah. It's
how
all about the healthy balance.
it's true. It is true. Um, would you consider yourself a hopeless romantic?
No.
No.
I do like I mean, I'm romantic, but I'm not like a hopeless. Would you? Cause I don't know. Like,
He's
no,
like
no, not
he's shaking
really.
his head no.
No, I'm not. I mean, no, I would not.
No, he's kept on saying to you to stop. Like not. It's not happening.
No, I'm not a hopeless romantic. No, I'm not.
Okay, so I'm coming to this question. Who influenced you most in life and why?
I feel like I've had a lot of influencers, women in my life. But I would say the biggest two, I have three actually. My mom, obviously. She
Is
was
she
a single
still?
mom. Yeah, she was a single mom raising three kids on her own. She taught me a lot about strength and to be like an independent woman and to just follow your dreams and always be confident. So I appreciate that, and I try to do the same thing for my daughter. Push that confidence. You could do whatever you want. You could be whatever you want. Be like she's very much like be like a lady. This is how you act. She's very old fashioned. So I appreciate that about my mom. My cousin Erica, she is she taught me how to kind of how to have that tough skin. Like she doesn't take I could curse, right? She
Yeah.
doesn't take shit from anybody, basically.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so she and she's went through a lot in her life as far as growing up.
So she took shit, but she don't take it no more. Period. It's
Right,
like
she
it ain't gonna
doesn't.
happen. Like that.
Right.
Those days are over.
So she taught me that, and she taught me how to have a bond with a female, just as far as that trust. Yeah,
trust.
like that's trust. Like, like I could always depend on her when it came to, and she just influenced me and just, being a go-getter, just being that strong person. Again, it's always about, in my family, I feel like those three women that I'm saying, they showed me a lot of strength. And then my aunt, which is Erica's mom, she's just very crazy and wild like me in a way.
I was gonna tell you, is that you? Are you describing yourself here? Because
So she taught me how to just be myself and never be apologetic of who you are. Yeah, so she taught me that.
yeah, that's why I get into trouble. Is there such a perfect relationship?
No, I don't believe that this. Nothing's perfect. Like we're not perfect. The only thing that's perfect for me is God. And perfect in a way, and it could be perfect in your way. Like if this is what you are willing to tolerate, then it's perfect for you and your partner. But perfect in like a way where there's gonna always be issues in relationships. There's always gonna be ups and downs. There's always gonna be, learning and growth. So I think that's what relationships really are about. So I don't think anything's really ever perfect.
What are some qualities that you think are important in a spouse or a man?
Trust, communication, and sex.
Boom.
But I don't know if that's like a quality.
No.
But like,
No, but that's
like-
part of our relationship. I think if you don't have any of those, I think the relationship.
Yeah.
I think that the major relationships are, I would say 80% is sex. If it's not a sexual, then you
have to be able to
it's a problem.
be with your partner. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because then I feel like if you're not physically attracted to them, you're not having sex, then that's where
he's
like
going
things,
or she is
right,
going
they
to
could like
leave, go someplace else.
right, exactly.
Um, what's a happy marriage in your mind? Well, are you getting married?
Yes.
When?
Hopefully this year sometime,
Okay.
maybe in September, we don't know. Um, but we're probably gonna get married this year.
Is it going to be in DR?
No.
Is
Here we want to get married in the cloisters. It's a park in New York.
Oh,
In
cool.
Washington Heights, actually. It's a beautiful park.
Wow.
And since he's an artist, he
And you
always
have
draws
connections
there.
too.
So we're hoping to get married there, but I'm still looking for like a venue.
Mm-hmm.
But a happy marriage to me is, like I said, being able to be yourself, being free. You don't really own anybody. Like, he has his own life, I have my own life. So when I say, hey, babe, I'm going out with the girls, all right, no problem. He's not like, where are you? What are you doing? If he's like, hey, babe, I'm going out with, my boys, okay, go ahead, go have a good time. I feel like a happy marriage is, just motivating each other to be the best that each other can be, like, so when I'm down, he's lifting me up. When he's down, I'm lifting him up.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
So, like I said, a balance.
This might kill you here.
Uh-oh.
Does size really matter?
Yes, it matters. Hell yeah, it matters.
Oh.
What do you feel? You feel
I'm
like
not
it doesn't
going
matter?
there.
But I mean, I don't know.
I
though.
mean,
Like, some
I
girls-
think,
Yeah.
I think that every man has their own size and shape and whatever.
Yeah.
But I think they need to learn to use it, because some men think it's just there, so you just do this for them,
Yeah.
and that's
That's
not
true.
all that it is all about. It's like it's a two-way street. So if I want to do to you, you got to do to me. Like
Yeah.
I'm down, like whatever. But
No, but it's true. My cousin.
then I don't want somebody with some big,
No, we don't-
where
yeah, it
I'm going
has
to
to
have
be-
some stitches or, I
Like, you
don't,
can't,
no,
like,
I don't
really
want that.
enjoy it,
Like,
right.
no, I had a friend who used to talk about her guy, and I had to like stop talking to her because it was driving me nuts.
Because he was too big.
Yeah, she used to come to the job like I just was in the hospital. I'm like, why? Like one time she told me why. I was like, no, get rid of him.
Damn.
She's
that's
like,
a
Michelle, what? I love him. I was like, no, you don't love him. Trust me. He hurting you. Just leave his ass. Tell him, do something about it. Or learn how to do what you have to do with what you have.
Right.
Like, come on.
That's
Like,
crazy because my cousin,
Ow.
she was on the opposite spectrum.
oh.
He was very little. She was like, he was like this little, like, and she, like he size. But she was like, but he would make me like get off. Like he would still. She would still
See,
get
but this is
satisfied.
what I'm saying. Okay, so she was okay with it. But this girl, she ends up in the hospital like almost like 7 days a week, dude. Like, what the
Yeah.
hell's wrong
That's
with you?
to the extreme. Like,
Like to the
you have
last
to work
time,
with it. You have
the
to work
last
with it.
time she ended up having like 6 stitches. I was like, that's it.
What?
He will be done with an exclamation mark. I would text him, be like, we done. Not even like call him, like not even give him the satisfaction of seeing me again. I'll be like, we're done. That's it. No, I'm not gonna hear it.
That's crazy. That's like I've
Bad.
never heard that.
Bad. And I was like, so how, like I used to think like, how bad
you
was it? Like,
enjoying it,
what the
though?
fuck? Like,
If he's
no,
hurting
sh
you.
and she's telling me like she tells him that he's hurting her, and he goes crazy, and he
Oh,
goes
that's-
even harder. So I was
Yeah,
like,
no.
yeah,
She
like
needed to
no,
leave him. I hope
dude.
I hope she
Yeah,
knows.
she did leave him, but we used to laugh a lot about it.
That's crazy.
Do you have kids?
Yes.
So how many kids do you have?
I have 3.
Okay.
2 that are here on Earth, and
Okay.
then 1 angel baby.
So
Sorry, the mic.
um,
Did you hear me? I don't know.
so you have 3,
Yeah.
2 here and one
An angel baby.
an angel
I wanna-
baby.
I like to call her
So-
angel baby. Yeah.
So do you want to talk about that with
Sure.
us? So how long ago did this happen?
My daughter was born on January 28th of this year, 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a little bit less. Well, yeah, less than 2 months. It's going on 2 months that
Mhm.
I gave birth to her.
And so what happened?
So basically, she, I had a normal pregnancy. Everything was always fine. I went to, sonograms, did, more testing because obviously of my age, I'm 40. So they test you for like more genetic stuff or like
Do they still do the amniocentesis?
they do,
They
but
do.
I didn't get it done.
Okay.
They only do that if like something comes up with your like your genetic testing, and then if
Okay.
they want more testing or more results. Um, Everything was fine, and then come the day that I give birth, I was gonna have a C-section. So we're there, you know, in the process of me getting surgery. Luna comes out, boom. And as soon as she came out, they knew that something was wrong. They told me that she had to go to the NICU. And at first, they thought it was something wrong with her lungs, that she was having like an issue transitioning from the womb to the outside world. They were like, we're going to give her some medicine and hopefully, this should work. So a couple hours later, the doctor hadn't like come back. I sent my fiance downstairs and I was like, hey, go check on Luna. Like, what's going on? The doctor came back in and he was like, listen, your daughter is in critical but stable condition. And like, honestly, when he said critical, like it was just, it flew over my head. I was in so much shock that the words critical, I didn't even hear them.
I cannot.
So he was like, she has to be transferred to another hospital, to Columbia Presbyterian,
Presbyterian.
because she has something wrong with her heart, and they have to do more testing, and they didn't have like the capability of doing what they needed to do at that hospital.
Okay.
They took her to the other hospital. She stayed there. I stayed in the hospital. My fiance and my mom went to the hospital with her. They got there and they were like, she has to do more testing in the morning because they found out that something was wrong with her coronary arteries. The next day they had to do a procedure. It's called the catheterization of the heart. So basically they like put like a ink. They literally put like a little wire in her vein.
Yeah.
Go into the heart. They spread ink and then they see the images, better
Of the
images
heart.
of the heart. When they did that, they noticed that she didn't have her coronary arteries didn't form. So the left one was non-existent. It didn't even exist. It didn't form. And then the right one formed on the heart itself. So basically, her heart wasn't getting any oxygenated blood. So she, basically, what they said was the only chance of survival is a heart transplant. So of course, when I heard that, like my whole world, it was like I felt like I was in a movie. It was crazy. Like it was like the whole floor underneath me, like just disappeared, and I was like literally sinking into a tunnel. It was crazy to hear those words. They talked to us about like they were like, okay, this is what's gonna happen. The heart transplant team will come to you tomorrow to talk. This was on a Tuesday, and we'll let you know what the process is to put her on the list to get a heart transplant.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So they put you. How long is this list?
The list, they said, probably would take between 2 to 6 months to get a new heart for a baby in New York City. That's what the time frame usually is. So in the meantime, they said that they were going to put her on this ECMO machine, which basically it is a machine where it oxygenates like it's basically doing the work for the lungs and the heart. So and it's very invasive. So basically it's like they put tubes in your arteries and the blood comes out of your body, of her body, and into the machine, and then it goes back into the
So
body.
the machine is processing her blood, basically.
Yeah, it's almost like it looks like almost like a dialysis of like
of a heart.
of a heart and lungs. So I did not want that. I did not want it. But my fiance was like, please, let's just do it. If it comes down to that, let's just do it to buy time. And I understood, because this was his first baby. I have kids from my prior relationships. And I was like, fine, let's just do that. So if it comes down to that, fine. So we got a chance to hold her, and like in the process of us holding her, it was like a whole process. So she had like all these like tubes and stuff on her. We held her for like an hour. Then we gave her back to the nurse, and like all of a sudden, it was like I was in a movie. Like literally, like I see the nurses panicking, and I see them trying to open like, I don't know what they were trying to open, like a syringe or something. And I asked her, I said, hey, is everything okay? And she said, no, her blood pressure is going down. So At that point, I started like freaking out because I would literally see the numbers. It went from like 100 and whatever it was to like 90, 80, 50. So I started bugging out. My mom came and she escorted me out of the room. She was like, let's just stay here, and wait till, let them do what they need to do. The doctor came, like, and he was like, we've been trying to work on her for like the last 40 minutes. Um, she's not breathing on her own and her heart's not beating. He's like, and and she lost a lot of oxygen to her blood. So the ECMO procedure that I said is not even
So it could affect her brain in the long run
right.
anyway.
It's not even an option anymore. We're not going to do that because you know there's no reason to put her through that trauma when she can't even. We don't even know how she'll be. So he was like, "You have, we just had to say goodbye to her, basically." So
That's, I think that is the most hard thing to go through.
oh my God, it's
I mean, I'm sitting here, I'm watching him, and I just can't like.
it's I don't want to cry. It's something. It's heavy. It's unimaginable. It's unnatural. Um, you think
I think
that
it's unfair because there's so many people out there having children and throwing them away, and and it's very unfair because I tell people all the time, life, these are things that really actually happen. And and I think people need to understand that you could be the the happiest person on the street, but I would look at you and I would not know, right? And the craziest thing is that where I met you and I became your friend is where I saw the actual picture of your daughter. And I looked at the lady and I told her, "Wait, that's Francesca's baby." She's like, "Yeah, but did you read?" I was like, "No, I just saw the baby. I put a heart on it because I thought, the
right.
baby, because the first picture you put up was not her being sick. It was just the baby." So I was like, "Oh, congratulations. I'm so happy." And then she's like, "No, but 2 days." I was like, "Wait, what are we talking about?" I had to sit down. Like, I had to literally sit down. And I just know you as from sometimes we conversate,
Yeah.
and I just need to tell people that there's so many people out there going through maybe worse what they are going through, and they're thinking that they can't carry their own burdens. And here you guys are, both of you. Like, I hope this will make you even stronger with your relationship because some people don't know how to go from here.
Right.
I have a friend who actually, when she went back to Europe with the ashes, her and her husband are no longer together. They live in separate houses and they're done.
And that was my one of my biggest fears actually when this whole thing happened. And I would tell him, "Are you gonna leave me now? Is this gonna?"
Why?
But
It's
then he
not
was
your
like,
fault.
"I'm here," and thankfully, we've been really a good support system for each other.
So I was reading about it. I just read a little bit about it and I got very like sick to my stomach. I was shaking before I came, like about 2 hours or 3 hours into before I came to the show. I kind of wanted to look into it to see. And also my good friend Maritza's daughter also has congenital heart disease, but she's okay. She's 16 now. She knew
Right.
when she was in the womb, but unfortunately yours was not
Yeah.
detected, right?
Right. So
Yours
like
is one of the rarest.
it's very rare. I mean, in 20 years that the doctors at Columbia have been there, they've never seen a case like Luna's. And it's just very, very rare. Her condition is called coronary osteoatresia, and basically, like I said, it means that her coronary arteries did not form correctly. So without oxygenated blood, you can't survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, a third of women or congenital heart defects are not detected in the womb. So
Whoa.
mine was not detected in utero. You couldn't detect it, and even I asked the doctors, would you be able to detect this? And they said probably it's highly unlikely because you could hardly see the arteries on a sonogram. So even with a fetal echo, if they were to have detected, there was nothing that we could do about it. Like the only her thing was there was no reconstructive surgery. There was nothing. The only
There was no
option-
chance, basically.
There was no chance. The only thing was a heart
A heart transplant.
and that was it.
And it's very rare to find
Right.
a child that won't make it nowadays. I mean, thank God, but you know, I mean, but at the same time, you would want to have that chance. You know,
Right.
I think it. Let's be fair. You know, it would be if I was in that situation, because you know I went also on their site, and I was seeing people that had kids that survived, and I was like, wow. So
But those kids that survive, they'll always have to have some sort of, they could either have neurological problems, they could either have, it's not a cure. Like when you get a surgery, or it's not healing it, it's not curing it. It's just basically patching it, if you want to use that word. So it's always going to be not, you know, I don't want to say struggle, but it's always going to be something for them.
it's going to be in the way
right.
of their lives anyway. Like, let's say I'm gonna go run. Maybe I can run 10 miles, and maybe she will only be able to walk 1 mile.
Right.
So, yeah, I understand, because I really was reading about it, and I was getting emotional, and I said, you know, I need to to put my thoughts together, because I didn't want to start the show with just that. I wanted you to be able to like at least open up and not make you feel so uncomfortable that I'm attacking you at the
No.
same time, because you know I do these shows, and you know I wanted to tell you that I actually 2 years ago, before I ended my show, I had this guy, Jonathan, if I'm not mistaken, was his name, and he had a heart condition, a congenital heart disease. He was born with it, and they never detected it. And he was a very big in sports, and he was playing sports, and he collapsed on the field. So they rushed him to check, and they found out that he has a congenital heart disease. So they put him on the list. So little did he know, I think it was like a year or two, he said he was in Fort Lee, and he got the phone call that his heart is there and he needs to be rushed to the hospital ASAP. So they called 911, and they said to them, listen, I'm a patient waiting for a heart transplant, and I just got the call. Where are you located? And they came and they took him into the hospital with the cops. He said that was like the best thing he's ever had. He goes like his mom and
An escort.
he said he's never felt like that feeling ever that was worth it. He said when he got there and he got the heart, you know, it's working fine. He still has to take a lot of pills. So it doesn't, he told us, like, it's not over yet. My life is still a struggle, but I'm here.
Yeah.
So when we found out, when he brought the picture of the donor, was a kid too. And he was the same age and a few days apart in birthdays
Wow. As him.
as him. And he looked just like him. We
Wow.
could not understand, like we could not even
Tell-
know which
tell
one
them
is who.
apart. Wow.
Then he found out what had happened, because then he wanted to meet up with the people. So what happened to him, he actually was doing the skateboard, and he hit his head on the pavement.
Wow.
And he had the hat. He didn't have the hat, or the hat,
The helmet.
the helmet flew or something, but he hit his brain. And 2 days prior to this accident, the kid was talking to his mom and told her, if anything happens to me, I want you to donate the organs. And that's why they donated the organs. They weren't going to do it.
But he said that 2 days
But
prior.
he said that two days prior. Look, I
Wow.
get,
I
I
just
get
had to breathe,
chills.
too.
So, you know, he said he lived months and years thinking that he's going to die, but he never wanted to tell his parents that he doesn't think he's going to be the next one online, because
Right.
but the blood and everything was a match. Like they could not believe how what a
It
match
worked.
it was. It was like basically it was like almost identical.
Yeah.
And you know, like we've seen pictures and we were like blown away. I mean, I could not stop crying the whole show. And he kept on saying like how he thanked her mom and the thing. So like I think if it was maybe an older, it would have been a situation, or if they knew before, maybe, you know, there would be a child or whatever. I know it sounds so cruel, but at that point I think I would want to be selfish. You know, like you know what I mean? Like I even look at my friend, like lost the baby when she was 3 months old. Like how fair is that? Like,
Yeah.
so what do you do now? What are your goals like for you, for Luna? I mean, she's not here, but she's going to live in your memories, in his memories, in your kids' memories, in mine, because I will always, if you ever need me to come out, if you're doing any events, we will come, we will stream, we will, whatever you want, we'll
Thank you.
do
I
it.
appreciate it.
So we'll help you out without a doubt. But what are your goals now?
I mean, I want to honor my daughter as best as I can. I don't want to cry. Sorry.
It's okay.
So, we created my husband. Well, I'll call my husband because basically.
Yeah, well, he is basically.
Yeah, my husband and I, we created a foundation. It's called For Luna's Heart Inc. And basically, it's a nonprofit where we are raising awareness for congenital heart disease, as well as you know, providing comfort and support and healing for women that are also suffering from infant loss. So we haven't done any you know, events or anything, but eventually we want to, like, you know, pick a charity, do events, you know, and just give to that community, because it's such a big community that I
Huge.
didn't even know what congenital heart disease was until
Well,
this
I went
happened.
online and I was like,
Yeah.
huge.
It's the number one birth
heart,
defect.
what is
That's
it?
the thing.
Dimes? The Dimes?
March of
The
Dimes.
March of Dimes?
Yeah.
That's one. That's like the major one that I had no idea. Like I was like, what? I remember donating money many years ago, but I didn't know it was for the heart. So here I am. I'm like, okay, now I know. So now I need to educate myself even more.
Yeah, I
And
was literally blown away because it's literally the number one birth defect of.
it's one in 100 children are
Yeah,
born with that.
Exactly, 1 in 100 children. Yep.
That is crazy.
Yeah, if you think about it, it's like 40,000 kids maybe a year that are like born with that. I don't know the statistics. Really,
Yeah,
but
I think
about-
I think it
about-
was more than that, because if I
maybe,
I
don't
was
know.
looking and I was like,
But
oh
yeah,
shoot, like
I
the
kn-
way they broke
you know,
it down.
I'm still learning myself because this only happened to us
Trust me.
almost 2 months ago. So I mean, I've been trying my best to, like, I'm like almost obsessive with, like, wanting to know more information, and I also want to you know, eventually, like, do a documentary to honor Luna and to tell Luna's story, as well as other women that have also experienced this, you know, to have a purpose, to impact not just that community but everyone, you know.
Yeah, and the craziest thing is that you're not alone.
Right.
You're sometimes you might be at home and you'll be like, I'm alone, you know, but take those thoughts out of your head, because I mean, when I looked at the site, I think even if you call them
Yeah.
and ask for information, and this is what happened to me, is there any help? Can I come and talk to somebody?
Yeah.
You know, you never know. You might bump into somebody on a train or a bus.
Yeah.
And as I said, we met at the nail salon, so you can actually bring a lot of people from there. There's so many people in our community that can help. I don't know. I think the first thing to educate is kids. And I think if you start from schools with the organization that you have, I think they will open the doors for you, because educating them with this and making an impact on these teenagers, because there's so many things that you can do. Maybe a scholarship for somebody that's not is a low income and wants to become a doctor, a heart surgeon, a girl who's lost and don't have no family and she still wants to educate. That's a great.
Right.
That would be an awesome scholarship to give.
Exactly.
So I think there's so many so many things you can do for and just keep it with Luna's name because it's an awesome, I love the moon too.
Yeah, I feel like she just impacted so many people. Like, she was just here for 2 days, but in those 2 days, she fulfilled her purpose. Everyone has a purpose,
Do you talk to any of the doctors?
So I do, and we're actually going to see one of the doctors the 20th of March, and we're gonna see her actual images from the catheterization of that procedure that they did, to see her heart, how it looked, so they can show me the arteries, because I want to see my daughter's heart. I want to see how it looks.
I think this is how you start building a relationship
Relationships, yep.
to do the documentary, because you want to put it on a professional side too.
Absolutely, yeah.
You need these people that have been with her, and the fact that they never saw anything like this in 20 years, this would be an awesome,
Right.
a great way to start.
Yeah. So I was thinking about bringing a camera there with me.
Shit.
And I'm gonna ask her before I film, obviously, but I think they would be okay with it.
I don't see why not. And I think you should actually talk to somebody. I have a name for you.
Okay.
And see what rights you have, because I think if you would want to do something like that, it has to be patented down before you go to them, because you don't want them to take the story. And
Yeah, no. Well, they can't take the story unless they have the footage, but that's true. They could create their own story, but it won't
yeah,
be
but they
Luna's
might
story.
want to
Right.
use those images to
Right.
create their story. You
That's
want
that's true,
you
too.
want the images for your story.
Right.
They are your story, your rights, and you will have to sign that document. Nobody uses my stuff,
Right.
my child's things for their purposes.
Right.
And then if they want to, they're going to have to pay you for you to go there and sit and hear what they have to say.
Right.
Because usually when it's a case like this and it's never been seen, they will bring doctors from all over the world. It's not just the United States.
Right.
And they
It's a
usually
team of
have
doctors.
seminars and discussions. And that's where you want to be, in that place.
Yeah.
Even if you are this little, which is a camera. I'll
No,
do it.
absolutely.
I'll be like, yeah, I'll let you do the story, but my name, and I'm coming to do the story. And I am going to take it to my people that I know, because you have connections.
Right.
And I will air it my way.
Right.
I will edit it and do everything my way, not your way. I'll bring it to you guys to see, but everything will be on my terms, not on your terms.
Yeah.
Because when it becomes to something like that, I think you have to have peace with both of you, with everything that will be gone. Because at the end of the day, sometimes they will use your names. So if you're gonna use my name, I'm gonna make sure I'm going
Right.
to,
Yeah, there's like it's a whole process. for
yeah.
that,
So
but,
that's what I'm saying. Like you start baby steps, but you have to talk to somebody that knows all about it.
Right.
So if you have people that work too,
Yeah.
you just need to.
Yeah,
talk
it's
to
just
them.
doing it the right way, and just making sure that. I mean, there's also legal things that they can't. Legally,
Exactly.
they can't do certain things.
Yeah,
so-
but some, like with my friend too, her story was totally different. They weren't sure what that was. They had to go through medical papers and screenings and all that.
for the sleep apnea.
Yeah,
Wow.
because they've never seen. They see it on big people, but they never saw it on little people.
Little people. Wow.
So
Or like an infant.
yeah, so she was like, and she had to go to a lawyer. She had to sign documents with lawyers so that they don't. Her identity was sealed. She didn't want
Right.
her daughter to be out there and the family to be on. She said, "If I want to do it, I'm going to do it on my terms, not on your terms. This is my,
Absolutely.
my life."
Yeah,
So
and it's
that's what
your
I'm saying. Like
privacy also,
you
it's
have
not-
to you have to make sure that everybody is protected, because remember, you have kids too.
Right.
So at the end of the day, you don't want anybody coming to your house and be like, "Oh,
This is you, or this is what happened, or exactly.
yeah."
No, that's super important. Super important.
So, is there anything else that besides the documentary, besides the foundation that you created? What about yourself? Where are you guys? I hear. Okay, so the wedding is coming. So that's
Yeah.
a plus.
Yeah, we're getting married. We're gonna get married. And I also try to tell my kids, to understand that they do have a sister. She did exist,
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, oh, I was pregnant and I'm not. It's like, no, I was pregnant. Mommy had the baby. Luna was here. She's not here now, but, that's still your sister. She's our angel now. So, keeping her memory alive in our own way as well. I feel like she's always with me because obviously, you know,
She's
we're
part of
we're
you.
we're so like we are. What's that quote where it's like you have a body, you are a soul, you have a body, you know what I mean? So like the body is
And you guys were
what we're here.
bonding. Like
Right.
you bonded for so long. Like she was part of you.
Right, absolutely.
So
And that as a woman, you're a mother, like that whole nine
that
months in your belly, at
that's
least I was able to
priceless.
keep her safe in there. Like I feel like at least I did my job when it came to that, where it's like, wow, I was able to keep her safe. My love kept her alive, like, because basically what they told me was my umbilical cord, because of the oxygen that I was feeding to her, kept her going
That is
and kept her
deep.
alive. So for me, I feel like it's all those aspects: the oxygen, our love, just my positivity. Like it kept her here till at least I was able to meet her and for 2 days. But that's it. That's fine. I was blessed with her presence for 2 days, and I'm grateful for that. I am completely grateful for those 2 days.
So when do you go back to work?
In about a month or so, and I'm not looking forward to it.
Well,
but maybe it'll be
but
good
you're
for me
still
to.
but you're still healing. So I
Yeah.
mean, your body is still healing. Your emotions and your mental state is going to be off and on. It's like a switch.
Right.
Unfortunately, we are human. We are not robots. We are not programmed to just be like, okay, let me just go by with the day. I wake up, I brush my teeth, and that's not how it works.
Right.
Sometimes you'll be walking in the street and you just see something that triggers it, and you'll be like,
Absolutely.
hey,
Those triggers are real. Like,
and
and it's sometimes uncontrollable. You can't even stop yourself from crying. You don't need, all of a sudden you just feel it and it's coming and it's coming and it's coming, and you're just kind of like, okay, just let it go. You have to let it be, you know, feel it, and then, put it away for a little bit and then be present again. And I feel like that's the part of the grieving process that's the most difficult.
I think the most amazing thing that inspired me is when, you created the Instagram page for her, and I see the hearts. So is that your job? The hearts, the drawing of the hearts. See, I wasn't sure, but I was going to text you. I was like, who's sending you all those freaking pictures to the drawings? I like them. That's beautiful. Like,
Some of them though, I got like a couple of them I got from this one girl's Instagram who she does like medical art, and I wanted to buy a picture, and she actually gave it to me. She just was like, "Here, your story is incredible. Like, here you go." So like, it's been such a great support that I've had in the last few months that yeah, it's been awesome.
but that's great. I mean, everybody grieves different, and nobody is to judge you how to grieve.
Right.
And just stay positive. I know it sounds stupid, but
No, does not sound stupid. That's the only way to
but
be.
just remember, you have the kids and you have him, and you have to still continue on, because the kids without you can't go on, and
Right.
him without you, he's not going to go on either.
Right.
So it's a win, give and take situation. It's unfortunate, and like I say to people, it happens to the best people out there, because like I said, when my best friend's daughter passed, that story of the baby in the garbage in the middle of the cold in New York City, she was found in the garbage. And then 2 days later, in the post box, in the box for the post. And they're hearing a baby cry. It was like below 10. And they're like, where's this baby coming from? And then I had to call 911 to open the damn thing. And they cut it open, and the baby was about to die with I don't know what's called when you get cold. Hypothermia.
Yeah.
So I was like, she goes like, you see, Michelle? She used to tell me, she calls me like, you see that? And that the guy that he threw the baby out of the highway. So
Yeah. I mean, we've had more. Vincent has had, my fiance has had those thoughts of, but we're good people, you know, and it's true. Like, we're good people. Why is this happening? But I'm kind of in the beginning for like the first week. I kept saying, why? I just need understanding, and now I just have to leave it to God because I'm not gonna know right now. Eventually, I will.
I think God picks the strongest people. He picks the right people to that he knows that are going to be strong and not take it against him, and teach other people lessons. Who knows? Maybe around you guys, you know,
Right.
somebody needed this, and yes, why you? But there's no answer to that.
There is not.
Eventually, at the end of our lives, we'll know the answer.
Right.
Because that answer will never come.
No, we might not ever know why.
You know, so just pray on it.
Yeah.
Things will get better. You know, this is rock bottom.
Yeah.
After this, if you survive this, you're there's nothing else that is
Yeah.
going to be.
And there's no other way, like there's no other option but surviving, really.
Exactly.
There is no other option.
Exactly. And together you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm gonna call you in about a year and a half, and things will be different.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you know,
hopefully.
I'll come back. I'll bring you back to the
Okay.
show. Who knows? Maybe be part of your documentary.
Yeah.
So you know, I'm going to end the show with a
Okay.
positive thing, and I want to ask you, what is your definition of love? Because I like to ask it.
My definition of love, I think I love this quote by Paulo Coelho. Do you know who he is?
No.
He's an author. And
He sounds
basically-
Dominican.
No, he's Brazilian actually. But he says love simply is,
Love simply is.
you know?
It's true though.
And it just is, you know? I feel like love is the only emotion really where you feel it through your veins. You know what I mean? Like you feel that you know that. Like I think love is light. I think love is understanding. I think love is forgiveness. I think love is kind. I think love is, like I said, being free. Love is beautiful, you know, and it's just yeah, it's just
It's
simply
just something
is.
you can't live without, damn it.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
It's embalmed
It
in
feels
us.
good,
It's like,
you know, like yeah.
it's just awesome. Like I try and tell people,
Love
like,
is
whew,
God, you know, like love is the universe. Like
It's
love
true.
is everything around you, I feel.
It's so true.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I want to thank you so much.
Thank
I know
you.
it was difficult, but we survived it today.
Yes.
And you know, in a few months, I'll come back to you, and maybe bring an update on the show. Who knows? Something. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
for
you for
having
taking
me.
the time.
Thank you.
And we had some technical difficulties, but
That's all right.
well, this will all pass.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody, and I will see you next week, the same time at 9 p.m. Bye, everybody.
Bye.